Hey there, Oz Adventure crew. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining because today we're going to do something special. We are going to unbox the UTB Capra 1.9 four-wheel steer, and it's also a 4x4 drive. First, we're going to go through some of the features that the rig has, and then we're going to actually get it out of the box, have a look at it. We're also going to compare it to, let's say, something like the Element. So we're going to bring out the Ecto, just put them side by side so we can see size differences, clearance differences, stuff like that. And after that, we are going to take it outside for its first quick run. But also stay tuned for next week's video because we're going to try, if the weather permits, to bring it out to an awesome place where we've got huge rock walls and it's like the biggest rock garden you've ever seen, and we're going to put it to the test. So first, let's get into the features. So first of all, we've got the tube chassis design. Everyone knows the Capra. The chassis design is awesome. It looks really cool. It's also a licensed rig. As you can see here, we got the one with the Fox decals on it, which is the one we actually love. So awesome. Second of all, the Proline wheels and tires. This is also an upgrade to the previous version, because on this one we have the Mickey Thompson 1.9 tires on there, also licensed, and also the Holcomb 1.9 beadlocks. So actual beadlock wheels on this rig, which is really cool. That means it's pretty easy to switch out tires. It has a very scale look, so really happy with that upgrade as well. Front headlights are included, as well as a LED light bar on the top. So that's going to give some really nice effects for the nighttime runs. 6mm stainless steel suspension links and pivot balls. So very good, because on, let's say, something like the Element Ecto, they actually give you plastic links in there. The balls are plastic at least, and the links are a little bit thinner. And you notice that, like, after a year of running it, you start to get some play on all the balls because they actually wear a little bit. Aluminium oil-filled shocks, and I've heard from other people that they are really good shocks and not many leaking issues up to now. So really happy with that. Also metal universal joints and an improved transmission with 45% lower gearing. So that's also a big step up, because we are not going to be using this so much for trailing, but this is going to be used by us as a hardcore rock crawler. And of course, like I told you already, this is a four-wheel steer version. So let's have a look at stuff included in the box. We have the Spectrum DX3 smart transmitter, the Spectrum metal geared servos, both front and rear for the actual front and rear steer, 4-amp waterproof brushed ESC, a Spectrum channel receiver with 5 channels on there, and a Slick Rock 35-turn 540 brushed motor. Proline Holcomb 1.9 beadlock wheels, and of course the portal axles. And the difference with the portal axles as to normal axles is, you can see here, the wheel actually hooks on a little bit lower, so that actually raises your diff clearance also on the rig. Get her out of the box. This is really cool for us because we have been wanting to get this rig for a really long time. So this is actually a very cool day for us if we can get it out. Okay, we cut all the tie wraps. It is packaged very well. So let's have a look. There she is, with the transmitter, a booklet, probably all kinds of instructions how to connect and drive the car, but it should be connected already. We also have 4 AA batteries and a sticker included in there, which is always great when they deliver the batteries, so you can immediately drive. Now let's get some of this plastic off. And first impressions, it is looking really cool. So fun to see that they have actually added some color in the wheels there. So you can see that it gives a nice little color effect, and just picking it up and touching it, you can feel the flex already. That has a very good flex, this rig, and looking forward so much to actually getting it outside and doing some crawling with it. We can see the metal servo horn immediately. We can see it is front and rear steer, so we can actually turn the rear wheels. We're going to put a battery in there in a few seconds and just check out how that works. Loving the decals, lights on there, LED bar like they said. And if you look at this, a 3-finger clearance on the diff, as opposed to other rigs where you can't fit 3 fingers under there because, of course, the axle runs straight into the center of the wheels. And here you can see that the axle is actually lifted above the wheels and we don't have a very big diff protruding. So also the whole diff housing and the axle housing there is a really good part of this rig. Under the rig, you can also see there's a huge clearance on there. There's not too much here to catch. So if you're actually out on the rocks, you're not going to be catching your plate here. It's all, nice and flush. We have 2 drivers in there just for the scale look to make sure, when you're out on the rocks, it looks really cool. So we're going to see that back in the video when we're running the rig. I have absolutely no experience driving a 4-wheel steer rig, so this is probably going to take some getting used to, or maybe it'll just come naturally. We'll see. Suspension is feeling good, front and rear. If I'm correct, the battery actually goes in here, so let's have a quick look. They have little pull tabs, which is awesome, here and here, that you can just actually probably use to pull this out. And if I'm correct, it lifts up. So we're going to put a little shorty pack in there, a 1300 mAh, which should fit perfectly under the hood here. Okay, we got it in there. Okay, quick look at the transmitter. It's a Spectrum transmitter. All the different things we can do on here are we can do the steering. We can switch the steering from right, left. We can do throttle. We can reverse that as well. Of course, a throttle limiter, so we can set the whole power of the system to 50, 75 or 100%. At the moment we have it on 100. All the buttons here on the side are actually steering rate, so how far do the front wheels actually steer. The brake rate, so how strong are the brakes working. Steering trim and throttle trim. Something I also like is they already put a one-handed steering, sort of an extender on there, so you can reach it when you want to do some one-handed driving. Of course, the throttle and reverse or brake. And the button right here is actually going to be used to do the rear steer. So, all right, let's have a quick look. Forward movement. Actually, for a rig that is brushed, we've got some pretty slow control here. If you really squeeze it slowly. All right, now let's see. A lot of degrees of turning on there, which also has something to do with the connection of the wheel to the axle. And now let's see what happens when we, ooh, look at that. So the rear wheels also turn. So if you want to make a really sharp corner, or you can actually crab a little bit, or if I want to see if I can make a really short turner here on the table. Ooh. So this is looking really cool. And as you can see, it takes some getting used to get used to the whole rear steer. On my other rigs at this point, I'm used to driving brushless. All right, the Element Ecto, which we have also done a lot of work to. So if you like what you see here, check out some of our other videos on the Element. I'll put a little link or a little card up on top of the screen for you right now. Go back and check that on the channel. As you can see, the Axial is actually a little bit wider, so it's got a wider base. If you put the cars next to each other like this, you'll see that they are actually exactly the same length. Capra, a lot more clearance. As you can see here, we've got 3 fingers space, and on this one, 2 finger space. And you can see here that the axle is actually above the center of the wheel. And on the Element, we don't have the portal axle, so the axle is actually in line with the center of the wheel. You see how much it actually lifts a rig in that sense. And quickly put them a little bit like this as well, so you can sort of see the difference in ground clearance as well. You can see that the Element is a lot lower than the Axial, and we're going to have to see what that does. Of course, the Axial will have a lot more clearance, but will it have a disadvantage because it has a little bit of a higher center of gravity? Also, the wheels or the actual tires on the Axial are wider than the general grabbers that are delivered together with the Element Ecto, and a little bit higher as well. Enough talk. Let's get outside and just give it its first little simple run to see how it does on the trails. All right, we made it outside. We got the rig all ready to go, and we are at a really awesome little rock garden here. So we are going to be running this one all the way up to the top to just see how it performs. But before we actually put this down on the rocks for the first time, I would like to do a really big shout out to Zoe from Tumen RC here in the Netherlands, because she really helped us out in getting the rig to us really quickly. We ran into some troubles with the order we did, contacted Tumen, got Zoe on the line, and she fixed that in a jiffy. So Tumen and Zoe, thanks a lot for making this video possible. Okay, some things that I forgot yesterday is there are actually 3 mounting points, front and rear, for the shocks. So they have actually set it up stock with the shocks as flat as possible, which is the setting that we want. Maybe if you're more of a trailer, you would want them set up a little bit more upright, but that's something I wanted to share. And the front wheels actually protrude the steering and the bumper on the front side, so that makes climbing a lot easier. Well, very nice. Love the control and the handling. Still have to get used to the rear wheel steer, but this is doing just fine. Really short corners with this rear wheel steer. Very awesome. Now we're making our way to a nice little wedge coming up right after this little climb here. Awesome. All right, now to get positioned, it's usually sort of a 3-point turn, but with rear wheel steer, we are lined up correctly immediately. Nice. Now we're going to see if she wants to climb. We're going to have to take into account that these tires are new. Foams are new, so everything still has to be run in a little bit. Ooh, she wants it. Let's give it a try. Oh, here we go, here we go. Heading over to a test rock. Okay, so the rock to your left at this point is the rock that we're actually going to try and get up. First try and do some positioning. So what you want to do is exactly in that little divot in the top of the rock, you want to have the bottom of the car there, and this will be, oh wow, this this is very cool. This took a lot of upgrades for the Element to actually get up, and with the extra ground clearance here, and I think a little bit of a testament to the tires that haven't even actually been used that much, so they're going to get some better when they start to get some wear. This is very, very, very cool to just see it run up this rock without any problems first try. So really nice. Something else I forgot to mention is the foams in the rig. Stock are immediately foams that have a two-stage foam, so they are extremely soft on the outside and they are soft on the inside, which of course makes that you have nice grip on the tires. They'll deform a little bit when you're starting to go up things like this. They'll flatten out, but when you're doing some side hilling and stuff like that, the tire won't start to roll over to the side. Wow, this is really, really cool. What we're going to do now is we are going to head to the next location, so stay tuned. We're going to be there like... Wow, the maneuverability with the rear steer is just awesome. Really line the rig up, and that's going to get better and better every time we drive with the rig, because you get more and more used to sort of the second nature, I guess, of driving with the rear steer. So really enjoying this. This rig is awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining, because it's just been a pleasure to drive this rig again and just to be outside. As you know, here in the channel we do understand the therapy of being outdoors. So just a very healthy thing to do. So thank you so much for joining, checking out the Axial UTB Capra with us. It's a super rig. We're going to be doing upgrades on it, so stay tuned. Keep following the channel, hit that subscribe and the like, of course, because that's how you know when we upload new videos. We are going to probably be adding brass to the front of this rig. I don't know, portal covers probably in brass, probably a brass diff cover as well to get some more weight up into the front. Probably other rims, because that'll also add some weight all around the car. So stay tuned for those videos, but for now our goal is to make sure that next week you guys have a video of this rig being driven in one of the biggest rock gardens you will ever see. It's like a rock garden. Try and imagine a rock garden with 15 to 20 meters in height and 50 to 60 meters wide, with endless lines. So we're going to put it to the test next week. See you then. Catch you later, and don't forget to share the video with your mom.